Suddenly, a sharp, sorrowful cry pierced the air, instantly shattering the peculiar atmosphere between Edwin and me. Following the sound, we found a Pimphil who had been inconspicuous in the corner of the inn room.
What? There was another one? I thought there were only 3 pairs.
Edwin exclaimed, touching his forehead in disbelief. The other Pimphil couples muttered,
"Oh, right. We didn't notice either. It was so unobtrusive."
I lowered my voice and carefully asked the sniffling Pimphil, "Are you all right? What's the matter?" The Pimphil answered with a vacant look, as if gazing into the distance.
"I wanted to come with my beloved, but now we can never be together again."
The air around us grew heavy. My heart ached. I'm truly sorry to hear that. The Pimphil continued,
"His warm touch, his smile, never again."
Then another Pimphil who had been quietly observing interjected,
"Wait, isn't your husband still alive?"
"What?" I had thought her husband was no longer in this world. Noticing my puzzled expression, the Pimphil explained,
"Actually, we had a quarrel during our journey, and we separated. Here I am, alone in this place full of love."
"Stop crying!"
one Pimphil urgently cried out.
"We dewdrop fairies will wither and die if we shed too many tears."
Another Pimphil added,
"You still have a chance to reunite with your other half. But if you disappear, even that chance will be gone."
However, the grief-stricken Pimphil seemed deaf to their words. Tears continued to flow, and its body grew weaker by the moment. The concerned voices of the surrounding Pimphil grew louder.
"This could turn into a disaster."
Suddenly, the Pimphil's body collapsed as if sinking into the floor. Chaos erupted around us. Oh no, what should we do? Overwhelmed with confusion, I instinctively reached out towards the Pimphil. At that moment, something astonishing occurred. Purple magical energy flowed from my fingertips, enveloping the Pimphil's body. Like spring sunshine melting frozen earth, the light breathed new life into the Pimphil. The Pimphil's eyes flew open. Its sagging skin became taut again, and vitality overflowed from its entire body. "Are you all right?" I asked in a startled voice. The Pimphil replied with a vibrant voice,
"Yes, I feel wonderful. It's as if I've been reborn. I couldn't care less about my missing husband now."
Seeing this, the other Pimphil's eyes sparkled. They rushed towards me excitedly.
"Me too! Please share that mysterious power with me as well. My shoulder aches and I can't sleep. Please help me."
In an instant, I was surrounded by curious Pimphils. They scrambled to touch my hands, and while I was flustered by this unexpected situation, I also felt a strange excitement. My heart raced at this mystical communion with these tiny creatures and the fact that I could empower them. Was I always capable of healing? I've only ever used magic to subdue others. Just then, a middle-aged Pimphil stepped forward. His eyes held deep wisdom.
"No, this isn't healing. Strictly speaking, you're sharing your magical power."
Edwin interjected, his voice mixed with worry and a hint of irritation.
Wait, sharing magical power? Stop taking it. Valentina's magic isn't infinite.
The Pimphils flinched momentarily at Edwin's sudden intervention. The middle-aged Pimphil reassured Edwin.
"Don't worry, young man. We're taking only a tiny amount. In fact, this process might help stabilize the lady's magical flow."
"Stabilize, you say?" To my question, the Pimphil responded.
"Indeed, your magical flow is unstable. You're struggling to control this strong power, aren't you? It's like trying to dam a massive river with your bare hands."
"How did you know that?"
I suspected it when I realized you stopped us earlier in a fit of anger. But after receiving a share of your magic, I'm certain this is, well, unbelievable. Your magic is enormously vast, and that power, it's connected to something, as if it's touching the power of a colossal being.
A colossal being? So if I keep sharing magic with the Pimpfiels, it will stabilize? I asked anxiously. The Pimpfeel pondered for a moment before carefully saying,
Sharing with us alone isn't enough. It's merely a temporary solution. You need to find something you've lost. That will be the key.
Something I've lost? What is it? He shook his head with a regretful expression.
That I don't know. If you discover the nature of the enormous power connected to you and find that key, you'll be able to properly handle this power.
Something lost. What could it be, and how should I find it? As time passed, the atmosphere in the room gradually became drowsy. The Pimpfiels gathered around me wore contented expressions.
Being with you makes us so happy and peaceful.
Sleepy. I yawned involuntarily. As my consciousness began to fade, I heard a Pimpfield's voice.
You must be tired from sharing your magic for the first time.
Hearing those words, I suddenly felt the fatigue in my body. I couldn't keep my eyelids from growing heavy. I felt Edwin carefully pulling the blanket over me.
Rest well.
His gentle voice lingered in my ear.
You were truly remarkable today.
I wanted to smile, but I no longer had the strength. Just before losing consciousness completely, I heard Edwin's soft murmur.
Others may have taken your attention today, but next time they won't.
Before I could ponder the meaning of those words, I drifted into a deep sleep, comforted by the knowledge that Edwin's warm gaze was watching over me. Hasty Cake Club, where every bite is a taste of sweet adventure. Ready for a more adventurous flavour in your life? Subscribe and taste the magic.